Paulie here on the Latino Slant. Hope everyone is doing well. And this is a very um, special little thing I'm about to do here. I have watched this entire podcast interview with director David Ayer and actor John Bernthal, who has his The Real Ones podcast, which I highly recommend. This is a 2 hour talk between friends and colleagues between these two men that I found absolutely fascinating. I highly recommend you watch the entire thing, especially if you are a potential filmmaker, a fan of films, but also too, guys. I think that there's just been this constant bombardment of misconception, misinformation that's been very disingenuous to creators, actors, writers, directors, from a lot of channels that I really have just done my best to bring you other information, other stories, and that's why I have so many interviews with those said creators, because there's always another side that we have very little knowledge about, and there's so many great nuggets. What I want to do in this video is focus on David and the Suicide Squad, his cut and what he has to say about that. But there's so many great nuggets. That's why I want you to watch the whole thing. An example of that in regards to filmmaking, he says it's hard enough just to make a bad film. It's incredibly hard to make a good film. It's impossible to make a really good film, like a brilliant film. In in the whole process of this world of Hollywood that he's a part of, and I get it, man. I really get it. And so I encourage you to watch this whole thing. So let's get right into it in regards to Suicide Squad. And here's the gentleman, John Bernthal. You may have recognized him in so many great films and TV shows. And we're gonna go right to minute uh the 1 hour 110 40 second 46-second mark, where he asked this question. And we're gonna stop and go, but he asked this question.
What's your biggest heartbreak in the film industry? What's the thing that's hurt the most?
All right. So Hollywood, I tell people, is like watching someone you love get fucked by someone you hate. So,
Wow.
I mean, there's a couple of them. I mean, the big one is like Suicide Squad. That shit broke me. That handed me my ass.
How so?
Uh, come right off Fury, right?
Mhm.
Had the town in my hand. Could have done anything, and I did do anything. And go on this journey with it, and the same thing, like authentic, truthful. Let's do all the rehearsal. Let's really get in each other's souls. Let's create this amazing collaborative thing,
Yeah.
right?
So he's referring to his process that he works with other actors and stuff, and like he did with Fury, is in his earlier films, tons of rehearsal time, tons of personal time together with the actors, with the creators. You create this sense of the world of the film, of the product. That's his method, and in a lot of directors' methods as well. So that's what he's referring to. Let's do it again. Let's do this thing for the Suicide Squad with these actors.
And then I dropped my director cut. Your 10-week assembly. It's a fucking assembly of 10 weeks for a movie that big. Come on. And Deadpool opened, right? And then they never tested Batman versus Superman. So they put the movie out there and they never did a test. And they were expecting a different result, and then they got hammered by all the critics. And then it's like, okay, we're gonna turn David Ayer's dark, soulful movie into a fucking comedy now.
Okay, listen to that. So DC, right? Never tested other films, put them up, got panned, and we're gonna make David's dark, soulful Suicide Squad into a comedy because we need a hit.
Became the bad guy narratively. Oh, he's a tough director. He's hard to work with, or this or that, right?
Because as they're fucking you, you were like, stop fucking me.
Yeah, and but the producers themselves are like, like producers, studio people, executives. I'm not calling anybody out because we're all like, at the end of the day, like it's fucking business, right?
Yeah.
I get it. But the narrative that like, oh, I'm hard to work with and I'm the problem only puts more value and equity in their career. And that's kind of like what my path has been. Like I wrote the first.
So before he goes into another subject, so he's basically saying, this is what I'm getting, and I would love your comments, your reactions. Because of their failures, they went after Ayer to make their failures successes, to make their, careers and who they are. He doesn't say, is it Hamada? Is it those guys? But that he's the difficult one. And that's why, we're a failure. We had to, recut this thing. Now he gives, this is Hollywood. This is Hollywood, guys. In this is a successful director and the shit that he's had to go through. Now he's going to talk about Fast and the Furious.
First Fast and Furious, man. When I got that script, that shit was set in New York. It was all Italian kids, right? I went to Scott Stuber, who ran who's running Universal at the time, who hired me. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to take it unless I can set it in LA and make it look like the people I know in LA, right? So then I started like writing in people of color and writing in the street stuff and writing in the culture, and no one knew shit about street racing at the time.
And it is well documented, as it is documented in this discussion, is David's from the streets. He's a homie. He grew up in and out of South Central, and then he lived the life. So this, what I've always loved about Ayer and is his authenticity, and he talks about this, and you can't fake it. Absolutely, just right on the money, David. And let's continue.
And I went to like a shop in the valley, met with like the first guys that were doing the hacking of the fuel curves for the injectors and stuff like that, and they just figured it out and they're showing it. I'm like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna put that in the movie. Like
it's what you do, man.
And biggest franchise in Hollywood, I don't have any of it. I don't have fucking,
really?
I got nothing to show for it. Nothing, because of the way the business works, right? And the narrative is I didn't do shit, right? So it's like people hijack narratives, control narratives, create narratives to empower themselves, right?
Listen to that. Listen to that wisdom there. This is textbook Hollywood, right? The non-creatives that run studios, that run shit, they hijack from the creatives. And then John asks him right now, because we're going to jump to more air cut stuff. He asked, well, how would you have done it different? Like, he's like, well, I didn't socialize. Like, I don't do the schmoozing shit, because that's not me. And that's where the gatekeepers are. The gatekeepers who do the schmoozing and the fucking parties and all that stuff. They're the ones that control the narrative and are connected to the money people, connected to the investors. So he asked, how would you do it differently? Take out the middleman and get me right to the investors. I mean, this stuff goes right to my heart, because I know so many filmmakers who don't have Ayer success and go straight to the money man, and they now do their own independent projects, their independent films. I mean, this is fantastic, guys. This is absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, for him to put that creativity, a lot of people love the first Fast and the Furiouses, or first couple of ones, 1 and 3. That he has absolutely no stake in the franchise. That totally makes sense. They used him as a hired hand. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the 1:15:07 mark in this 2-hour talk, where he goes back on the Suicide Squad.
You do Harsh Times, End of Watch, and Fury. Like, what the fuck is anybody gonna like? How are these people taking your movie away from you? Like how?
It's their movie.
Yeah, but
hear that? It's their movie. He's referring to the gatekeepers, the people in control, and Suicide Squad. It's not my movie. It's their movie. Even though he's coming off a high of fury and being the it director of the moment, don't matter. It's their movie. It's their movie. Here we go.
somebody knows what the real score is there.
But it's like they never tested my cut, and the thing is, I have it. I fucking have a copy of it.
Here's the
right?
cut.
And if I didn't, oh my god, because everyone I've shown the cut has the same reaction: rage. Like, this is the movie we wanted. Why didn't we get this?
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
And then, like,
I'm such a dipshit, bro, about all this stuff. But like, I've seen that, like, release the Ayer cut. I've
Yeah.
seen that on, like, what can
Love
that
John.
get released?
I mean,
And be
Would you
released.
want it to be released?
it's like Schrodinger's cut now. It's almost like, is it more legendary to see it or more legendary to not see it?
Yeah.
Like,
Right. At this point, what's better, to show it or not to show it? It's a great question. I mean, David's an insightful homie.
I talked to James Gunn, and look, they got their own. He's trying to figure that whole mess out, and it's possible, but they want to get some scores on the board first.
Yeah.
I could show people. I could, but it's tough because it's like I want to fucking move on from it. I want to heal from it, and it pisses me off because like, dude, I was coming off Fury, right? And during Suicide Squad, when the dailies were coming in, people are like, oh shit, maybe Ayer's going to take over DC.
Right.
And there's all this Game of Thrones in there. The palace politics were insane, right?
I bet.
And the shit that was really going on, bro. All right, okay, and
Talking about DC politics, the politics, Warner Brothers, DC, the gatekeeping. I mean, this is seismic.
and then they're shooting at me, and every time the new movie comes out, a new movie would come out in this space, the press would come at me again, right? Over like that's what became so fucked up, is I became a talking point inside of the marketing for these other projects in a negative way, and I'm sitting there like, what is happening? It's like it's.
I remember talking to people like, like talking to Kevin Vance and
there's so much here. There is so much here, and I could keep going on. And I want to find one more point, and then we'll wrap it up. But I just want some resolution in regards to Ayer cut for David to move on. Absolutely. And his fans and the DC fans.
the fuck, G, why are you doing this fucking movie? Fuck you for even
Control over my work. I have to have control over my work, and I won't get in a situation where I don't have that control ever again, because they will strap a bomb.
Here we go. This is the last one. He refers to they in regards to what we've talked about, the non-creatives, the corporate-run studio system.
They'll rip your guts out if it serves their empire, like for-profit corporate speech, right? Quarterly. Oh, this quarter we were able to save on payroll by firing people, and this movie made a profit, and we sold secondary. That's all they fucking care about. I don't care about you. Everyone's disposable, man. Like, and it's like taken me kind of coming to terms with the reality of Hollywood, and what it is. And it's been so confusing. And then at the same time, this is the business that's changed my life. This business that built my house. This is the business that's given me these opportunities to travel the world and see things and meet people, so it's tough. It's like, you get petted and slapped, sometimes at the same time.
competitive, dude. That's fucking great.
That's it right there, man. You get petted and slapped sometimes at the same time. What do you guys think right now? Let me know. Hit me in the comments. This is an incredible 2 hours of it. It was so incredible. I had to go watch it on my big screen in the living room just so I can just really take in everything that they're emanating as they're talking. Both of these gentlemen, because they're so tied into each other. Incredible subjects, from just his childhood, his father growing up, to Hollywood, his big break too with Training Day. I highly recommend it. What are your thoughts, guys? Let me know. Latino slant. Ayer's the homie. Wherever you're at, keep your slant fuerte. Gracias. Paz.